My soul bows to you. Namaskar. Namaskar and welcome to day 12 of our 40-day retreat. Oh, our 21-day retreat. Or rather 21-day meditation practice. My mind is on the 40 days. This morning I'm going to bring up the subject of pranayama. Nothing can move without prana. The mind cannot move without prana. The breath cannot move without prana. None of your physical actions could move without prana. No emotion, no feeling, no intention. Prana drives everything. It is the driving force behind existence. Prana. So if you can manage the prana within our being, well, first we need to be aware of prana. But if you can manage the prana within our being, we can begin to manage the functions of the mind, of action, of the senses, of the intellect. So being able to be aware of prana, to see how it features within the human experience from our subtle being. Prana is not at the physical level. We feel the effect of it on the physical level. The beneficial effect, the revitalizing effect. The effect of energy moving through our being. Every time we think, we create an emotion, we act, speaking, moving, we are engaging prana. It's coming from the subtle level of being. So to see, to hear, to smell, to taste, to touch involves prana. To think, to feel, to act, to move, to grasp involve prana. Can you become prana aware? Yes. But you have to take your attention beyond the physical body, because if you stay on physicality, you will not catch it. So you need to look behind the physical screen of existence. And that's where you will begin to become prana aware. It was magical when I began to perceive the prana behind everything. Then that is where I got the ability to begin to manage the energy space. So today we want to look at the subject of pranayama, and there are 5 pranas that feature in the body, driving everything in the body. In a generic way we call it prana, but the 5 individual pranas, they have separate names in the yoga teachings. So that which moves the breath, that which operates the senses, moving the breath meaning opening up the lungs to breathe in, that is called prana, just as a generic name, prana. That which pushes away is called apana. So we have that apana power in bowel action, in breathing out, in everything to do with pushing out, emptying. And then there's a prana that works the digestive process. It's called samana. So prana, apana, samana. And there is one that works all circulatory processes. That's called vyana. And there is that which moves upwards. That's called udana. So in speaking, in standing, everything that moves upwards. Kundalini. It uses udana prana. So, as you become a little more aware of these, begin to observe how they operate within you. Of interest to us in meditation will be the breath. Each time we breathe in, activate the senses, open the lungs, we are using prana in every breath. And every time we push out the breath, we use apana. A different kind of prana. The action feels differently. So we need to create harmony or balance in the prana and apana. So hence the rhythmic breathing. Prana and apana. When you begin to use the mind to project energy, the mind engages prana. So mind has also pranic power. So if you were to manage the breath, it is the same prana that's activating the mind. So you'll be able to manage the mind as well if you begin with the breath and to manage the prana of the breath. And you are empowering the senses as well, all the powers of the senses. And you have powers of knowledge and you have powers of action. But I'll deal with the powers of action separately. So every time you act in grasping, in speaking, in moving, in sexual action, in bowel movement, you are applying pranas. To power up those, we call them karamentarias, senses of action. So what is interesting is the way we bring prana into the body. It is through the breathing action. Breathing action brings air into the lungs, but breathing action simultaneously brings prana from that, what I will call pranosphere around us, into the body. So each time you breathe, you're bringing prana into the body, and the prana comes through two nadis. The left nostril brings in a cooling prana. You can actually feel that, perceive that, experience that. And the right nostril brings in a heating, a warming prana into the body. You can actually feel that. The body feels different with the cooling prana. It influences the mind. And the body feels different with the heating prana. It activates the vitality into the body. It's a solar power. So that right nostril brings a solar prana. Left nostril brings a lunar prana, as it were. So left nostril breathing influences right brain. Right nostril breathing influences left brain. So these are pranas that influence the brain. So you can see how important breathing action is. So when we breathe prana through these nostrils, they come to every chakra. We breathe prana into the throat chakra, into the heart chakra, into the navel chakra, into the sacral chakra, into the root chakra. So each time you breathe, you're actually bringing prana to the chakras. So if you breathe without awareness of those chakras, you are not able to even experience what's happening in them. But if you were to anchor or center your consciousness in these energy centers as you breathe, then you will find that energy center there where the prana is going to. And you'll begin to be aware of how that prana, when it goes to that particular place, it's energizing the nervous system there. It's energizing the cells there in the body. It's energizing the organs there. It's energizing endocrine system in the area. So it's amazing when you breathe it into these areas, giving the consciousness to the prana and to the energy center, how differently you feel. Mind becomes influenced. Emotion become influenced. Vitality becomes influenced. Physicality becomes influenced. So every level in your being is influenced by the prana that you breathe in. So hence it's extremely important to observe the prana. And I ask you to keep a firm spinal column, straight and firm, that you may really engage in revitalizing every level of being. Of course, becoming aware of the prana and these centers that I speak about, there needs to be a jump in consciousness. That's why we need masters in the space. That's why we need group work. That's why we need these sessions. In engaging, you can shift the consciousness and become more aware of how the prana is entering every part of you and how the prana is influencing all of your actions. It is prana that flows through the actions. It is prana that flows through the body. Body cannot move without prana. Mind cannot think without prana. So we need to bring balance to the heating and cooling, which we'll do in another session. But today, I want you to become a little more aware of this pranic energy as you meditate. Because when you bring that prana to every chakra or energy center, the senses are involved there. So you are charging up the senses. You're making them more sharp in their function. And you are bringing more vitality to the nervous system and endocrine glands in those areas, and generally to the cells in the entire body. So pranayama is marvelous. Before I even eat or drink, I charge up my body with prana. It makes my thirst and taste better. It makes my drinking better. It makes my eating better because the samana energy in the navel gets more charged up. It brings all the experiences of the senses to a more empowering action or activity. So here I'm going to take you into the meditation. Let's stay aware of the prana at the chakra points. Let's stay aware of the in-breath and out-breath. Let's look beyond body consciousness, that we may actually experience that which moves within our being, that we are not able to perceive with the senses. Join me now in this journey of powering up the mind and senses with the prana and mastering that pranayama experience or energy experience in the consciousness. Let's come into present moment awareness. Giving full attention to every level of being. Holding every level of being in your mind. That's holding it in prana. Give attention to the spinal column from the root, sacral to sacral area, navel, heart, throat, brow, crown. Just observe the prana experience of being still. In Qigong it's called Wu Qi. Just keeping this Qi very still. Qi is the same as prana. When your mind holds the entire body, it's holding the body in prana. Now to recharge every level of being and to be conscious of every level of being, let's activate the breathing. So breathing out with your attention on the brow, center. Breathing down the spinal column right down to the root. Keeping a firm spinal column, grounded pelvic area, and then breathing up the spinal column to the back of the neck. Medulla focus into the brain as you breathe in the back. As far as the energy will go into the brain, and then you breathe down. Open the consciousness to more than body awareness. Really observe the breath, conscious breathing. Hold the body firmly in your consciousness. Sometimes it may require holding the body in a little tension, a light tension, so you can feel every part of you. And remember, when you breathe down in breathing out, you go right down to the root and feel that connection of the root with the earth. And from that strength of the earth, holding that root area firmly, you breathe in, opening up the belly, opening up the chest, lifting the shoulders, and coming into the head area. And remember what we spoke about yesterday of keeping that idea of the symmetry of the body, geometry of the body. Left and right and up and down. Now keep the mind open, clear, attentive, intuitive. And the goal would be to deepen the experience. So while consciously acting, you keep continuously an open mind. Stay present, moment aware, and you'll realize that you have to use will. You need to use will to keep the body firm, to breathe out with firmness and rhythm, to breathe in deeply, to focus on the chakras. You need to use willpower. And let there be great silence in the mind. Listen to the silence. That's throat chakra awareness. Spaciousness, silence, and listening. And now bring attention to every level of being. Begin to enjoy going down to the root, feeling grounded to the earth with the physical body. Breathing into the navel, the sacral chakra. Opening up to the water experience in the body. And being conscious of taste in the mouth. While you're breathing, keep the tip of the tongue on the palate. This is to complete the energy cycle. the energy orbit. When you breathe into the navel, be conscious of the firepower of vitality in every cell, in the digestion, in the body. The more vital you are, the more firm and strong you can keep in your meditative posture. And focus and awareness. When you breathe into the chest area, you focus on touch, the feeling of air around your body, skin awareness, hands awareness, feeling in the palms. And that feeling of harmony, loving being, harmonious being. Heart chakra awareness. So your senses should feel more powered up. Smelling at the root center, tasting, sacral center, seeing, navel, touching, heart, hearing, throat. Every sense action should feel empowered. Now notice what happens at the brow. It gives a firmness of focus, strength of intention, openness of mind, power of thought. By focusing on the back of the neck and center of the eyebrows, you can breathe into the brain and energize the brain cells with the prana. Now I leave you now to explore this intuitively. The goal would be to feel the prana or to experience the prana at all the energy centers, from root to brow. And for some of you, you may feel that the brow is going way up into the brain to open up in the crown. The doing power is in the brow. Crown is the consciousness of being. Ego consciousness is in the brow. So sharpen the power of the mind as required. Now give attention to the experience of the elements within the body. There is fire energy in the body, warmth. There's water element in the body, in the taste, in the experience of water moving, fluids moving in the body. There's the earth element in the solidity of the body. There's the air experience, as you can experience air coming into the lungs and leaving the lungs. And there is space. You have the awareness that you occupy space with the body and that you have the spaciousness of the mind. So come into the experience of the elements in the body. And observe how they are associated with the senses. Hearing in space. Air and the touch around the body. And in the lungs, fire. In the body, warmth in the body and the fire of the sun around us. Water in the body, water in the moisture of the atmosphere and in the body. So there's a relationship between the element in the body and the nature around you. Earth in the solidity of the body and the solidity of the earth beneath you. Smell at the root as you come more into the solidity of the body. The sense of smell is sharpened. As you focus on sacral chakra, the sense of taste is heightened. The consciousness of water is heightened. And fire creates light and is associated with seeing. And harmonious coexistence means that you are appreciating the role of the elements in the body and around you. And bonding in the consciousness with the energy of the senses, power of the senses, and the experience of the elements. You're embracing that experience and you are harmonizing with it, letting your love and your peace and good intentions flow through every level of being. And now open your awareness to a new day. By giving attention to it and holding the intention to meet this new day with every level of being, the sharpness of the senses, the powers of action, the power of the mind, engagement with the silence and the intuition. And acknowledging the space of infinite power that we tap into to bring energy into manifestation. It comes from the infinite consciousness within us. So let's center in that infinite being as we meet a new day. Meeting it with the consciousness of every level of being and a heightened awareness of body, gross body, and subtle body awareness, chakras and prana. Let's create that intention powerfully using affirmation. I center my consciousness in the source of my being, that source of infinite peace, love, goodness, vitality, and wisdom. I stay centered there as I meet this new day. Staying aligned to the divine within me, that my every thought, word, and action will be nobly driven. That I may be a blessing to my world today. That I may grow in consciousness of self. I give thanks for all the blessings I continue to receive every day. And I pray to continue to be worthy. Om. Peace. 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 So, the subject of pranayama is an exciting one. It is important to become more aware of prana and how it features within your being, the 5 pranas. The way it powers up every aspect of being, allowing you to drive the physical body masterfully and gracefully. Prana. Prana comes from the divine. All the powers of the prana we have is coming from the divine center within us. It's important to be able to be aware of our pranic existence, our energy existence, because only then can we begin to manage it. So you can well imagine those who are not prana conscious, how the pranas can be unstable, scattered, meaning senses are not controlled, like the wild horses of the chariot. Mind is not controlled. Emotion is not controlled. Vitality is not controlled. How can the traveler ever have a comfortable experience when you have wild horses driving the chariot? Loose reins. And a charioteer who has no control. So begin to come back into that center of control within you, that you may really enjoy the human experience. Life is a journey on the earth's plane, to grow in consciousness and to enjoy the experience. We need to enjoy this human experience, not to deny it, but to live with awareness and mastery. We need to integrate that higher consciousness into our daily living, and that's the reason for this series. So this is day 12 and our 21-day series. My wish for you today is that you stay prana conscious. Prana is always moving inside of you. Begin to become aware of it. Breathe a little more deeply. Become more conscious of every level of being and how it features in your human experience. Learn to master the senses as much as you can. Don't be carried away by them. And also master the powers of action. Live masterfully today. Master the pranayama experience. Have a blessed day, everyone. My soul bows to you. Namaskar.